Alright, so we stopped whenever we had the button that's very small and we just can't see what's inside of a button. So this is a button, but this is just a line right now. So we need to make it thicker. Select the button inside of your scene and then go to the inspector. If you scroll down, you will see the layout element. Now in this layout element, you can have a preferred height. So select preferred height and add a value of, let's say, 50. So this is the height that, depending on how much space it has, is going to try to always be 50. You can also have a flexible height and have different values. So here the flexible height takes over, but you can always change the values here, okay? If you put 0, then it's not going to change much, but then if you increase that, it's going to take more space, okay? All right, but it doesn't make sense right now. The flexible height will be great if you remove the preferred height. All right, so okay, so that's how we dealt with having a bigger a minimum height, and the next step is to actually be able to click on that button and do something, right? So what I'm going to do is create a script to click on that button. So how do you create a script? Well, select that button, and I'm going to show you a different way to add a script. Select the button and click on Add Component, and go to Scripts, and let's give it a name. So let's call it, we can actually just write a name that doesn't exist, and that's going to create a new script. So let's call it button clicked script. And as soon as you type button clicked script, there's a new script that appears here. So select new script and then click on create and add. Make sure you have the right name, create and add. All right, so your script is right here, right below, I see it. Now your next step is to double click on the script so that it will open with MonoDevelop. Here we are. Now that it's open, the next step is to add the method when the button is clicked. So follow with me. I'm going to add a new action. I don't need these, so I'm going to remove them and say public. So the method has to be public so that it's accessible. Now, if you don't understand too much, that's because you need to take the fundamentals of programming, but know that public means that it's accessible outside of the script. Public, void, just like you saw for the others, and then the name of the action. So action, button, pressed, right? And then what we're going to do is print to the console button press. So debug.log and say, yay, button got pressed. All right, so this is just text this text will appear inside of the console. Now, when it's text, it starts with a double quote and ends with a double quote. Single quotes will work as well. All right, let's save this. Don't forget to save. Go back to Unity, and in the bottom right corner, we see that the script is loading, and the script is downloading. All right, so now, if I press play in the game, right, so we see the game in action. Now, I'm going to click on console, so we can see the console, and what I want to do now is press the button and see what happens. So you guys see that button? I'm going to press it and have the console here as well. So I'm going to press the button and check this out. Nothing is happening. Why? Because we need to actually tell that this script that we added needs to be triggered whenever we click the button, and that we did not do. So let's go ahead and do this. Select the button and go to the on click. You will see a box that says on click, and as you see, there's nothing happening when it's on click. So click on the plus button to add something, and on runtime select the object from the scene that's the button. So you are selecting yourself, which is the button itself, right? And click where it says no function and open, locate the button clicked script and drill down to find the action that we've done, which is the action button pressed. That's what we've written down. All right, so make sure you have the button click script dot action button pressed. All right, and now let's press play and see it in action. So pressing play, and now I'm going to look at the console and look at the button, and I'm going to click the button and check the console, clicking the button. All right, yay, the button got pressed. So everything works as expected, and you can keep pressing, and guess what? If you keep pressing, this will add more lines to the console. All right, so again, these lines are printed because they come from the script that we did in MonoDevelop, that every time we press this action, this happens. Now you can do some fancier things. You can actually move the objects or make them rotate faster or slower whenever you click this. Okay, so you can do some amazing things. All right, so this is pretty much a brief introduction to user interface. And again, now, if you actually want to learn more about user interface, one of my good bestseller courses on Udemy, the Build and Program the Crossy Road game. Look for it under my name, Johan. And this one does a lot. It really is a course where it gets you started and gets you to create menus, but also a working game. All right, later.